Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. My name is Sarah. Welcome to the 75th panel discussion of South Sudan women intellectuals. On this discussion, we are going to talk about South Sudanese women entrepreneurs. And today in the panel, I have lovely ladies. I'll just mention their name before we get to know them a little more better. In the room, I have Miss Rose Achindil and Miss Sarah Marilyn, who has apologized that she's not going to be here with us today. Miss Elizabeth Aqua Lawrence, she's yet to join. Miss Vicki Angelo is also in the room with us, and Miss Tina Aring is in the room with us, and Elizabeth Awien Diel. Welcome, ladies, to this 75th panel discussion of South Sudan women intellectual. I am happy to be joined by you today, and I'm looking forward to listening to you for the insight that you have for us today. So today we are going to be looking at challenges and opportunities that you are encountering in your business areas. So thank you so much to our viewers for joining us. We are going to have a very wonderful discussion with these wonderful ladies who are doing so much in this country, and it is good for you to know about them. So women entrepreneur, what is it? It is a process where women organize all factors of production. They also undertake risk and provide employment or others. The definition of women entrepreneurs has never been differentiated on the basis of sex, and hence could be extended to women as well. Women entrepreneurs was defined by the government of India as entrepreneurs without restriction. That is according to the government of India. It is also defined as an enterprise owned by women and controlled by women, having a minimum financial interest of 51% of the capital and giving at least 51% employment generated to women. So this is what we are going to discuss today in this panel discussion. We are also going to look at the functions of entrepreneurs. And in this discussion, we will get to know that the function of entrepreneurship is decision making. The primary task of an entrepreneur is to decide the policy of production. And these are the kind of things, our viewers, that we are going to be listening from all these ladies who are joining us today in the room. So entrepreneurship is important. Before we get into the discussion, I want you to know that entrepreneurship is important, especially for us as women of South Sudan. It improves the standard of living and create wealth. So these are women who are creating wealth for themselves and even for their families, not only for the entrepreneurs, but also to related business. Entrepreneurs also help drive change. And the change is being seen, like the innovation, where new and improved products are enabled to be brought and developed in a market. So this program, through such programs, there's South Sudan Development Plan. The government of South Sudan has expressed commitment to include gender considerations, and this is including planning process. The South Sudan Development Plan as well has an economic development pillar that prioritizes rural development and emphasizes gender approach to development. And that's why today we bring to you women entrepreneurs who are going to share their journey, who are going to share how they started their businesses in just a bit. So the South Sudan Development Plan justifies gender emphasis to the high prevalence of female household in South Sudan. Additionally, the government of South Sudan's policies and legislations have also highlighted the importance of promoting women economic rights. The microfinance policy and trade policy are examples of government initiatives to acknowledge the gender nature of economic development practices and other progressive gender responsive laws, including the Government Local Act and the Land Act, which were developed during the CPA. These pieces of legislations, when matched with implementation and followed up, while having positive implications for rights of women, political participation, and economic empowerment of women. So all this, before we really go into our discussion, I want to give you a background of the women who are seated with me here in this room. I was so impressed when I read their biographies. I was really inspired, and I know many of us who are seated in this room today, they are not just Mara Sakit. They are women who are doing something with their lives. And I am so proud to have you guys in the room. Aqua, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You are welcome. So I'm going to start with Ms. Rose Achindil. I am so excited to bring to you this panelist today. Ms. Rose Achindil is a peace activist, a mediator, and also an entrepreneur. She is an entrepreneur and a peace mobilizer. We all need peace in this country. It's good that we have women who are peacemakers. She is also a conflict resolution negotiator. Rose is the executive director of Legacy for African Women and Children Initiative. You are most welcome, Rose, and thank you for being with us here today. I'm going to go to Miss Marlene. Miss Marlene is not here. She sent her apologies, and she is a woman that we were looking forward to get insight from her. Miss Sarah Marlene is an entrepreneur and the CEO of Sarinka Company, which makes Sakita cakes and which also imports cars to South Sudan. I was really looking forward to see how she imports cars to South Sudan, and probably one of these days we may order a car from her. So thank you. We are so happy. Hopefully next time we're going to have her in the show because she's a woman who is doing great things. I also want to go to another great woman. Her name is Miss Aqua Lawrence. She just joined us right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Aqua Lawrence is a social worker by profession and an experienced manager with demonstrated history of working in the agriculture machinery industry for the past 9 years. She graduated from University of Nairobi in 2011 with a bachelor degree in social work and administration. Ms. Elizabeth is also a laureate that represented South Sudan businesswomen in Morocco during Women in African Philanthropy in 2011. Congratulations, Ms. Aqua Lawrence. Going to another extraordinary lady, Ms. Vicki Angelo, has a bachelor degree in business administration. She is a CEO of Jandi's Launch and a co-founder of Vant J International Company Limited. Peace activist. Wow, we are women who love peace. Another great woman, Ms. Tina Aring Madut, is a peace mobilizer, activist, and entrepreneur. She is a specialist in administration and management. Thank you, Ms. Tina, for being with us today in this room. And Ms. Elizabeth Awindio is an entrepreneur for 10 years in a business leadership and experience in all aspects of formation, operation, finance, and management. Ms. Elizabeth is visionary product developer with deep education and research and analytics. She is also an effective communicator and motivator who identifies and leverages in teammates to reach organizational goals. So thank you so much, Ms. Elizabeth Dio, for being with us in this room. You ladies are excellent. I'm so much inspired by you today. And I believe too, our viewers are inspired by women like you, and hopefully more women like you are going to come up here in South Sudan. Thank you so much, our viewers. These are the women who are with us, who are our panelists today. And my name is Sarah Nyibak. I'm going to be your moderator of the day. I will start having a conversation with Ms. Rose Achindil. I want you to please tell us about your business and what you sell and what motivated you to start your business. Over to you, Ms. Ms. Rose Achindil. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Moderator, Sarah Nyibak, and all my colleagues who are with me here, and our viewers wherever they are. Good morning and good afternoon. It is my privilege to be here this afternoon for this a special discussion. I do generally the general supplies of the stationaries, and I also sell the first-class products. Those are the local products. These local products are the Gillette paste, Simpson paste, Lulu butter, and honey. I'm also involved into selling the food supplements that supports people with diabetes, high blood pressure, ulcers, and other body and function. With these food supplements, I sell sugar-free. That is good for a person with diabetes, and then latte, coffee, cappuccino, and my choco. My choco is a good product for a child who has issues with the brain. It is good to support in the DNA. So I am very privileged, and what has actually motivated me is that entrepreneurship is encouraging me to build a great connection with my colleagues and other people in the world. And this has also encouraged me to have also a good marketing plan. And it has also involved me to get people who are so motivated and they are encouraging to support in leadership and other marketing support. I am also motivated to have joined the entrepreneurship because I'm also seeing my other young women doing it, and more especially in the context of my country, women are the leading in actually trying to bring food on the table. And I said, why not joining my colleagues to have also, doing the same thing, because it is a simple life that encourages the normal living of a human being. And this is how we spearhead. I take it very simple. It is not a very big entrepreneurship, but it links me with women that are walking on the street, selling water. So instead of me putting myself in a very high place, I join them as well to also see how they are also managing their lives and they are moving on with their family in this crisis. Thank you very much. And this is how I started it.
Thank you so much for that insight, Madam Achindel. Thank you for letting our viewers know about what you sell, things for diabetes. Do you have anything in the room with you to showcase with us? Maybe if you like our viewers to see what you have. Thank you so much for that. I'll also move to our next entrepreneur in the room, Ms. Elizabeth Aqua Lawrence. I would like her to please tell us what her business is all about, what she sells, and what motivated her. Over to you, Ms. Elizabeth Aqua Lawrence.
Hello, viewers. Thank you so much, Madam Sarah. Sorry for being late, caught up with the babies up and down. Glad to be here today. My business is actually one of the leading agricultural companies within the country. It's called David Machinery Group. We deal in selling agricultural machineries, tractors, farm implements, maybe like seeds, fertilizers. What we deal in all is everything to do with agriculture under one company. So if you are in the country or you're outside the country and you're thinking of doing your farming and you have want to do it mechanized farming and want to go big, think that no other than your sister Elizabeth here that sell agricultural machineries, the best tractors in the country and in the whole world, which is John Deere dealership, which is #1 American brand. Apart from selling the machineries, we also do the spare parts for all the vehicles in country. That is the also motor vehicles, the trailers, trucks, all these heavy things. Alongside that, we are aiming practically engage in training the youth who are currently in universities, who are doing the agriculture. So we sometimes give them attachment, I will give them free training on where to do practical tests on agriculture. So basically that's what we do. And going further, I myself, been in the business for the past 9 years, I've gone far outreach to the women's group, be in touch with them and see how we can be able to have entrepreneurship and how to help each other share the information and how to bring each other up. If Ms. Sarah is anything you need to know about the company, the field is all yours. You can ask me and I'll be able to answer. You have to
Thank
pardon
you.
my voice. I'm able to have it flow.
Thank you so much for that insight of your company. I mean, I love how women are taking serious things such as cars, machinery, spare parts. Those things are things that are known to be men world. You know,
Yeah.
I was always playing with dolls, not with cars and spare parts and all these things. But it's good that women are going higher and higher and taking even the most challenging things as businesses. So I'm so proud of you as a woman. Thank you so much for that insight. I also want to know if Miss Vicki Angelo is in the room with us today. Miss Vicki Angelo, I would like you to please tell us about your business, what you sell, what motivated you. So over to you, Miss Vicki. Thank you.
I would like to appreciate the opportunity to be among the ladies today of South Sudan, the business ladies. I'm a co-founder of Johnny Punch. There we do outside catering. We do parties, and we do event management at the Johnny Lunch, and also we supply fruits to the hotels. And for Vanje International, we do cleaning service. We have fumigation and maintenance of the offices and homes. We have a general supply as well. And what motivated me to become a business lady is, one, to support me through my education and my family, and also to create job opportunity for others, and also for me to able to get a time to interact with others and get new knowledge.
Thank you so much for letting us know about your businesses and your supplies. We are really appreciating the work that you're doing out there as a woman. Thank you so much for being brave and bold. I'll also like to go to our next panelist, who is Tina Ring. I believe she's in the room with us today. I would like her to tell us about her business, what she sells, and what really motivated her. Take it away, Tina. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Sarah. I'm really privileged and honored to be part of the panelists of the day, to be part of the South Sudan Women Entrepreneurs. And there's really something that has been into me that I would love to meet these lovely ladies that I've met today. And it is awesome. I am a CEO of Marabella Travel and Tours that was born in 2019 during the time of the pandemic. And although there are a little bit of challenges, and what really motivated me is that there's so much limited of travel agents around. And in order to have a peaceful and the nearest place to reach out for ticketing and stuff, I love that. I had the passion that I would be in a position to have a travel agent, and not only to stop there. The vision is beyond being just only selling tickets, but also to deal with the touring. Because like I've visited so many places in South Sudan, most particularly like when I went to Malut, I saw the real space for tourists. And I was having a bigger vision, a bigger thought of how that beautiful area would look. And that actually could be the part of the reasons why I had to think of having a travel agent. And it is really amazing. Secondly, I owned an Mgrosh agent. I also have an agent of Mgrosh, and that is like in Kenya, it is Safaricom. This is mobile money transfer. And the reason behind, or the reason why I decided to have that is that locally people are still really suffering, like most particularly the banks or transfer of the money to different places. And most particularly, if you like go to the grassroots, you cannot meet people, you meet, like now, if you want to send money to either to the villages, you're not being in a position to kind of reach out or send the money so quickly. So when I heard about this big company the Trinity coming up with the branch of Ambush, I ran as fast as possible. I could be one of the first people that really registered the agent of Ambush, and hopefully in the future it is going to reach out to South Sudanese in order to understand what it means to have mobile money. Like now, for example, instead of carrying so much money in carrying it in your bag, it's better you carry them in your digital, which is the phone, like what they do in Kenya. Kenya, you cannot go with a handbag full of money, but you can have it in your M-Pesa. So actually that really motivated me, and I said that I should be part of that. And I feel like that is also another way of like a peace mobilizer. Peace is what when you have when you reach out for things, it gives you peace. I think it is part of the reasons why. Because as a peace lead mobilizer or a peace ambassador, you always think of things that have you peace. If you make things clear nearer to your position, I think you also think of others. So actually, that's really what motivated me to have. Marabella is it's there pending, and hopefully with time, it is going to. It is not something that is going to stay here. It is going to the future. It is something that has to be in the future. So I am grateful and thank you very much for this golden opportunity.
Thank you so much, Tina, for giving us that insightful about your business and how it is important to go digital. So I wish you all the best. I also have another Elizabeth in the room. Today, so many people are going to leap. More businesses are going to be born. Elizabeth are in the room. Miss Elizabeth Diao, I'm so happy that you joined us today. I want you to tell us about your business, when you started, and what motivated you. You are welcome. Over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah. I'm Elizabeth Awindale. I own a company, a transportation company called Kipmas. Wow. And I also have a general supply called Pandik group of companies. The Pandik came out of Kipmas, general transportation, because Kipmas is a transportation company. We have trucks that transport things through transportation within South Sudan and also Kenya. And Kipmas is a general company, like we do general supply. We supply non-food and food items. And I also own a tailoring company called 5 Ladies, and I'm here today to present 5 Ladies. And 5 Ladies was registered 5 years ago. And the name 5 Ladies came, I named it after my 5 sisters, of which one of them she's doing fashion and art. And the other one, she's a lawyer, plus the other 3 ones. So 5 Ladies, I observed in the country, like there were no tailoring companies in the industry. Like as a result of the country, observation in the country, that too much of outflow of demand for good service from foreign companies as well as business entitled by South Sudanese. Hence, the country is losing in terms of economy. I saw so many tailors in the country were not South Sudanese, and they were not actually making our attires. I'm not a designer, but I have a talent, like I'm gifted. I can draw something and design something. So I came up with a tailoring company, like I design now in a modern design, not in actual sense the way we wear it and the way we tie it. And I want to do something that belongs to us and also to benefit South Sudanese who are tailors and they don't have skills or they don't have any income or they don't have anywhere to work. So when I came up with 5 Ladies, I have employed South Sudanese. Like I have 12 South Sudanese women working for me. And we are making attires for South Sudanese, like African wear, wedding gowns, suits, school uniform, graduation gown, and all this stuff.
Wow.
So this is the business I'm doing. Thank you.
Wow, that is so amazing. I think I'm bringing you the 7 ladies. That is excellent. Hopefully, I know I've always been seeing it, and I never knew that I was going to meet you one time. I'm so excited. Hopefully, myself, I'll walk into 5 ladies, and hopefully, too, our viewers are going to walk into 5 ladies and support our one of the 5th lady in that business. Thank you so much for taking us through your business. You are doing wonderful. The other person I think is not around, so I'm going to go back to Miss Achindel, who is in the room today. We all know that pandemic happened, and it is something that really disorient everybody. The way you had planned yourself is not how you found your things or how your business is doing. And especially if you are someone who was importing things from outside, everything was distorted. So I want you, Ms. Achindel, to please describe your business before the pandemic and how was it?
Thank you very much once again, Ms. Sarah and everybody. For sure, when the pandemic did not come, because no one knew that there is something called pandemic, which is COVID-19 that is going to come. Things were flowing actually, and I would really say that me and my customers were enjoying, because when they order the product comes in within the time plan, and that helped actually the customer or the prospect that was going to help themselves. But after the pandemic pops in, it became very hard for us because we had to order the products all the way from Kampala. And because of pandemic, even the things could not even come from Philippines because all those products were coming from Philippines. So you find there was too much out of stock in Kampala, and we had to connect again up to Tanzania and Nairobi, where things have to take like 2 to 3 months. You even became a liar to your customers that tomorrow things are going to come, and in actual sense, they are not going to come. So it became a very big challenge that almost make us lose hope. It also reduced, of course, the support and the finance that one has to raise themselves. Remember, the issue of you being an entrepreneur is actually to have a financial freedom, but that was not the case within this pandemic problem. So it has, the general thing has affected the operation of, supplying and also getting export outside the country and also giving them out. And you also, it made you drain it, your pocket, of course, you remain zero. So it was actually affecting us all over. And this is how it is still affecting right now.
How was your pricing?
Of course, I have to be forced to add the price because I was getting a double prices. If I order the thing all the way from Tanzania, the transport has to add. And when they come also on the way to the custom, the people of custom has also to get a lot of money to be paid. So when it comes, already it has tripled the price, and that can force me actually to double the price to my customers. Although I apologize to them and say, guys, let us help each other. So it is not, Swahili says, so it wasn't my making, but it was a pandemic issue. But good enough, we had understanding with my customers, and still now our relationship is still flowing like nothing.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I also want to go again to Miss Aqua Lawrence to tell us or to describe her agricultural business, how it was doing before the pandemic and how it was. Could you please tell our viewers how your business was?
Hello, Ms. Sarah, thank you so much for another chance. We know that COVID-19 has hit a lot of businesses, and comparing to how we used to perform initially and how we are performing right now, there's a huge, a big gap that's happening because when we talk, we always talk about the figures and we talk about the numbers. I can clearly tell you before the hit of COVID-19, we used to go about 43 to 45 number of tractors in a country that we sell out. And as I speak to you, like starting since last year, after this year, I'm able to bring in about 2 containers in a year, and each container is having about 12 tractors. You see, that is like it has reduced the number to half the way to 24 units of machinery is being sold. So actually, and one of the reasons is that most of the businesses have closed down, so the source of finances for them to be able to buy the tractors, there's no money, financial incapability, because most of my client customers used to be NGOs, and since the COVID-19 issue came up, the agriculture sector was abandoned, and people were focusing on how to fight the COVID-19. So you could actually imagine that at this period of time, not everyone was thinking about producing food, about supplying the tractors, about machinery issues. Everyone right now is talking about the safety. It's about buying the mask, about bringing this thing, protective wares and so forth. So it has really hit me big time, more than how we used to perform. We were actually picking up the business before the COVID-19 hit us, but there's a lot of challenges that has happened.
Thank you so much. We hope that things get better, because honestly, you are doing a great job, and it's not easy. And for sure, before we are thinking of safety, we need to be alive.
I'm telling you, for people to farm.
Yeah,
You know?
for people to farm. Yeah, so safety first.
Yeah.
But we hope that things will get better for you and for everyone, honestly speaking. I want to go to Miss Vicki. She's so quiet. Miss Vicki, I want you to tell us about your supply.
Yeah.
How was it before the COVID and now that there's pandemic?
Yeah, thank you once again. This COVID rule has come with a lot of damages, because mine literally is more of the service delivery to the people.
Yeah.
And has made me to lose a lot. Especially let me talk in the side of restaurant, the sales are not the same, because most of the people are working in the house and they cook, they eat in the houses. And there's no events, too much events like before. That people, because restrict that there's a COVID, they don't want people to gather around. And in the site of the Van J, we are doing the cleaning. So we used to have like 7 organizations that we are cleaning for them, but because of the COVID-19, all those have been cut. Now we are having only 3, and the 4 have gone. So there you find that I have to maintain the workers, I have to pay them, because it's not their fault to leave the work, and to keep them also to get something. So I have to be paying them while I'm not getting anything. So these are the challenges that I'm literally getting, though we are still looking on how we can still get the contracts back.
Okay, and before the pandemic, how was it?
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're just hoping that this pandemic thing or this COVID thing goes away, so that things can go back to normal, or we just have to adapt with everything that is. But I believe you guys are resilient, and that's why you're keeping on going on. Especially you, Vicki, saying that you have to continue maintaining the employees, because it's not really their fault. Why will you send them away? And if you keep them also, it's also trouble for you. So I just hope that all goes well for you in your business endeavors. I'd also like to come to Tina Aring. She's still with us in the room. I want her to please describe your business before the pandemic and how was it. Thank you. Over to you, Tina.
Thank you very much. I'll literally say that before the pandemic, my business was just a vision. It wasn't registered. And, I took a huge risk of registering it during the pandemic. And that is really, it was really a real serious challenge for me. Because like now, as a travel agent, you must have to go to different offices to get contracts and stuff. And those are during the times whereby you cannot even escape to any office, because the coronavirus was all over, and you find each and every person, you just stop at the gate, you cannot even enter. It was really something that is new to everybody. To be honest with you, starting a business in such a situation is not, unless someone who is really, having that resilience to keep on going. But all I can say is I'm not going to give up. The travel agent will still be there. And I went to an extent of renting having an office and trying to do 1, 2, 3 and there, but it did not work because the challenge of even paying the employees and also who would be in the office was really very hard for me. But still, I believe that they say that Corona came to stay with us and we will have to live by Corona. And there's nothing we can do about it. So all we have to do is to be strong and keep on going and don't let the vision or the dream you have die simply because of the issue of pandemic. But I am grateful, and I would say that Lord, I still have the business in mind, and the business is still there, and I'm still continuing to fight hard to. Same to Mgrush. The challenge on Mgrush is like South Sudanese. They do not believe in some there are things they when something is starting, it's hard for them to get into it. Like the digital thing, like money is sent, and we have an issue with the network these days. Like most particularly, Zain comes in and goes out, and the same the same to MTN. It is really a challenge for a travel agent to continue, and not so many of them, so many people that are willing to do the registration on the mobile money. The only mobile money people believe in is when you want to send your money to either to Kenya or to Uganda. But within South Sudan, there's some places in South Sudan that don't even have a straight, proper network. Already there, like it is a question mark for everybody. But still, the struggle continues, and hopefully, Corona came to stay with us, and we'll be by the Corona, and we'll continue to struggle and work hard to deliver services to the people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tina, for giving us that insight of how your business was before the pandemic. And I don't know why, but personally, and even myself, I think I like to touch money and to feel them and even smell them. So probably that's why people are finding it hard to adapt to Mgrush.
Yeah, sure.
But keep pressing on. Probably, change is very difficult, but once it speaks, I'm sure it will be out there. And many people, I believe, are starting to adapt Mgrush. And I was just inspired a few hours ago. I was in a Women Empowerment Initiative Bazaar, and I could see somebody having their merchant number for Mgrush, meaning it's gonna work. So because so just hold on, and it may pick up. So, and I wish you all the best in that regard. I also want to go to Miss Elizabeth Awindio. I want her to tell us about how her business was before the pandemic. Miss Elizabeth, over to you.
Thank you once again, Sarah. Five Ladies was busy before the pandemic. Like there were so many events. I used to get contract from schools. Like most of the schools in Juba, I was supplying them with uniform, and there were so many weddings going around. So I used to make maids' dresses and clothes for people. I used to have more than 15 staff, but after the pandemic, people were fighting for their life, and people are now fighting for food, and the economy is really down. So I don't get a lot of clients like before, to the point I've really reduced the number of my staff. From 20, I have like 10 staff right now. So Five Ladies is not like before.
Okay, so hopefully it will go back to like before, because I said earlier, you guys are resilient. It is just amazing to still see some people still running businesses despite the pandemic. I'll also go back to our sister, Achindil, who is still in the room. I want her to describe how the pandemic has affected her business, and how is she getting any financial support? Is she getting any financial support from any institution, government, to boost your business? Achindil, take it away.
Thank you once again, Ms. Sarah. I would say absolutely no. Getting any financial support from either any institutions or the government. I started the small business in my pocket, and I'm still continuing moving on in my small pocket. So this is the situation, and I am very sure it is all over. Even my colleagues who are women entrepreneurs are also having the same. They never get any support from any institution.
Wow. So now, if someone would like to maybe start their own, how did you start? Was it something small for you to start, or how much did you invest in your business?
I started with 1,200 US dollar. And I moved on like that. The only challenges that affect us, especially as women, and I'm very sure even you yourself, Sarah, you might have that challenge, is that we don't focus with our capitals only to do the business. When something comes across, we'll always cut something small from the business money and we put it in where it was not even supposed to be going. But we do that because it is part of the reason of us being a business people is to sustain you actually and to be self-reliant so that you don't actually depend on other people. And because when you depend on other people, whatever you needed as urgent thing, you may not get it. So this is the little capital that I'm still sustaining and be self-reliant on that.
Apologies for taking you back. So do you think your 1,200 came back, or has it multiplied, or has it reduced, or how is it?
It came back a long time ago, and it is even growing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That is growth right there. Thank you for letting our viewers know. I'm also going back to let me change the routine. Back to Miss Vicki, Angelo.
Yes.
I want you to tell us how your pandemic has affected your business, and are you receiving any financial aid from any government institution or from anyone? How are you managing?
No. I'm not receiving any financial support from the government, no private sector. I'm working for my own. As I said, since then, like this is the second year, it's just losses. But as a business, it's a risk. It's a part of that we know. So we calculated that, and we are hoping that things will get better.
Oh, thank you so much for that insight. We hope that the South Sudan Development Plan will be out, or if it is out, we hope that it will really help the women like you, women who are doing something with themselves. So thank you so much for that insight. I'm going back to Ms. Aqua Lawrence. Please tell us if you are receiving any financial aid from any institution, government institution, and how has the pandemic affected your business currently? Over to you, Ms. Aqua.
Thank you so much, Madam Sarah. I will actually say this is a big no. I've not got any financial support from any government or from any institutions since the breakout of this pandemic. Initially, before the COVID-19, as John Deere have something called John Deere Financial, whereby it funds its dealers to be able to give maybe like to fund the customers and make some down payment in between the bank and the customer. It's a long chain that's very hard for within the short period of time to explain. But we use sometimes to have some funds that we've seen from our main company, that's the John Deere Financial Institution, for the farmers that have taking maybe like accessories that are more than $300,000. So sometimes John Deere Financial shift in and take like 10% or 20% off. But since the pandemic breakout, there's been a lot which have not been done by John Deere. Some of those functions have been cut off, so I didn't get any support from them anymore since last year up to this year, and neither did I get any support from any government so far. Anything else?
Oh, you're doing great. And I wish you would receive a lot of government funding or from any funding, because what you're doing, you're actually trying to feed us, food security. Whether there is pandemic or no pandemic, we must eat.
Yes,
So
correct.
thank you.
You're right.
Thank you for that insightful from your business. I would like to go back to Tina Ring. I want you to tell us about how the pandemic has affected your business and if you've received any funding from any government institution or from any other institution to boost your business. Over to you, Ms. Tina.
Thank you very much, Sarah, once more. To be honest with you, I wouldn't say that I received any support from any government institution, although I have other good Samaritans that can chip in and there when, whenever you started something and an uncle or auntie sees you struggling and trying, working hard to do whatever. I would say that there are a few good hands that have given to support me in starting this. Like for Embrosh agents, you have to register by that. By then, I think it was 300,000 SSP, and that is around $1,000. And honestly, to be honest with you, I was helped by a good Samaritan, a mother that I wouldn't want to mention at the moment, but there's no any support from any government institution. And even if it is someone from the government, but I didn't go as in particularly as in a government, as in to the office, but I went as in going to an uncle to support whatever the dream I have. And without pandemic, yes, I know the $1,000 is not yet back, or 300 SSP has not yet come back because at the moment it's still pending. Embrush, yes, it's going little by little. I'm seeing even when you go to supermarkets, they have the agent number to purchase your goods. But slowly as we go on, patience space as usual. And I don't regret taking the fact that I took that risk to start this. And with the strength that I have, with the dream, because like they say that when you're passionate about something, it doesn't die. No matter what situation you go through, you still move on and work hard for it. Although I have little things that I'm thinking about, because I'm someone who's like, to be honest with you, I love service and I love catering. And I also have a dream of like having a restaurant one of the days, which is slowly by slowly. I start like in 2 saucepans or 3 saucepans, and as time goes, finding customers is not easy. Because like at the moment, I would say that this is the ongoing thing that is on the side of whatever that of the side at the side of travel agents and at the side of the Mgrosh. As that one continues and as I work, I will have some other small catering, small business that I would really want to start in my area. I love services, and nobody else that would come from outside that will come and do services for us here. Like now, for example, like owning businesses in South Sudan, as South Sudanese or women, I see so many women on the streets that carry their goods. However they do it, and how they move from morning to evening. Either he's getting money or not, but tomorrow she'll still have the same zeal to continue. How about me, who's having maybe a pay at the end of the month? Can't I do something? That's the question I had to ask myself. So I'm not getting any, but from my pocket as usual, as women are women. You're given money for food in the morning, either 1,000, you keep 100, and then you use the 90 for the 900 for the food in the house. The same thing, like we usually have the other, the tin, you open the tin and put in something, then that one you start something else with it. So that's exactly what I'm doing, chipping off something out of my daily services that I get monthly, and then I continue, and I'm not stopping. I have the zeal and I have the passion to continue doing it. Thank you very much.
That's a resilient woman right there. We still continue to wish you the best, and thank you for that elaborate. And I wish another woman is learning here. These are the techniques of doing business and even to survive. And these are women who are resilient, because I keep saying resilience because with all this pandemic and you guys are still sustaining business is something that you need to be appreciated for. So thank you so much for those insight from your business. Now, I would like to go to Miss Elizabeth Awien once again. I want her to tell us about how the pandemic has affected her business and if she's receiving any support from any institution, be it government or any other person, to boost her business. Thank you, Miss Elizabeth, and over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Like I told you before, pandemic has really affected 5 ladies. Like nothing is moving. The fact remains that we are selling clothes, and clothes is not a priority.
Mhm.
Health and food are the priority. And I've not been getting any finances support from government or any other institution. During lockdown last year, 5 ladies was just surviving on. I have some small apartment, and this is where I was surviving because I had to close the shop. I was doing some small face masks, and I failed to sell the face mask because it was taken by other people. So I was using my apartment money to pay my few staff, the one I'm keeping, and to pay the rental, the workshop rent, and also pay some service. So I'm not getting any support. And up to now, I'm not getting any support from anyone in the state. The government is taking a lot from me because I've not been working last year. And this year, I'm not working because there's so many customers. They're not coming like before the pandemic. And I'm still paying the tax. I'm paying city council, like 4 departments within city council. I'm paying them. And I'm paying work permit for some of my foreign staff within there. And I'm renting. So it is not easy, but we have to keep on fighting. It's business. Today it's different. Tomorrow will be something else. So since I started 5 ladies, I've not been getting any support. In fact, I started 5 ladies with only $2,000. And now at least at the end of the month, we would have like $10,000 in the bank.
Wow, wow, excellent.
Has been supporting itself with the sisters company like Pandik and Kipmas has been supporting 5 ladies. But from outside, anti-government and institutional, no.
Mhm. Thank you so much for that. And you are doing amazing. And thank you for surviving in the market despite all the challenges that you are facing. Hopefully someone is going to learn from you today. I have learned a lot from you guys, and I'm going to survive too. So congratulations to you guys. I want to go back to Miss Vicki. I want to call out Miss Vicki. I know she's in the room, very calm lady. Thank you. And I want you to tell us what are the challenges you're facing in your business and what are your recommendations moving forward?
One of my major challenges is taxation. The city council, we can say, because we have a lot of taxes we are paying which we don't know what for. Because first of all, they don't give you a chance to ask them questions. We have over 7 people coming differently, and then you have to pay that. And the worst part is they don't examine the type of business that you're doing, how much are you getting, and how much are you supposed to pay. So this is one of the major challenges that we are getting. And 2, we are also facing a challenge to the capital. You find that you may have another business, or you want to expand the business to a next level, but you not have the capital. And if you go for a loan, you find that most of the banks or the government institutions, the loan to money, their interest is very high, and it requires you also to have a properties where sometimes you don't have. And that's one of the challenges that we are facing. And that's the reason why you find that most of the business have been taken by the foreigners, because the foreigners, they cooperate, and if they got the business, they mobilize themselves, they get the money, and they are given to them. Another challenge also we are getting is there's most of the business have been given to the foreigners, where the same thing that we are all importing this thing from outside. But now, if I take my quotation, they will rather give it to the foreigner than me. So this is one of the challenges that we are fighting there their nights in the country, and we are hoping that if we can unite ourselves, since we are coming now together, what can we do? Now is our question to ask ourselves and do something before it is too late. Because I believe a woman is the mother, and a woman is the heart of the house and the heart of the country. So if we are not given the chance to utilize and perform our interests in the country, so we cannot able to empower others and even empower ourselves. Because through this, we are empowering ourselves and empowering the women who are coming up. So I would love us to really have that kind of a support among each other.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Vicky. That is so inspirational and very touchy. And I really concur with you. You said something really important that I cannot even just let it go hanging like that. I would like to echo it even further. You said that one of the challenges is that, especially even Elizabeth mentioned, like sometimes you are paying 5 departments from the city council, and probably your business is not even making that amount of money that you are paying. So this is something that even cripple most of the businesses that are women own, and most of these businesses that are owned by women, they're small scale business. They're not like the machinery ones, Aqua. They're not like yours. So you find like your business is really small, and the taxes or the tariffs that you are paying are not equivalent to what your business is producing. So sometimes it will require a lot of bodies to look into this. What if you are selling, maybe if you are a juice vendor, maybe, or if you are selling something small and you're required to pay 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes they should just review and see what you're
350, 400,000. And if you don't pay money, they close your business. They lock the gates. And when they open the gates, you have to pay extra money.
Money, yes. So
you're
these
just
are this. Yeah. So I really feel you, and I hope there's a body, and I hope South Sudan Women Intellectual is going to be recording this very fruitful discussion, because these are the things that women go through, and would like to take them up so that they can be resolved, because they have to review your business, how much you're making at the end of the month, and how much should you be required to pay. You cannot pay the same amount tax that someone else in the room is paying. So thank you so much for those challenges that you have highlighted. Back to you. You want to say something?
Yeah, the recommendation.
Yeah,
and the recommendation, I would like, if I don't know if that's going to be a women intellect she'll come with a policy where to be addressed to the government on how to tax some kind of business based on what you're getting and all this. And another thing also, if a government will allocate money, a loan to a women who are upcoming in the businesses, to order to perform in the market, to promote the economic. And also we will need training opportunities, because most of us, we are operating without any experience, any skills, and any experience that we have gotten. So we find in management it's very hard, especially in the financial sectors. So as we know that in a business, it's all about calculations, how you get and all this. But you find that some of us operating business, don't know either we are making losses or we are gaining. Just you know, I've made this money, but you don't know the small things. It is that we are not counting them. So I would love if we can have opportunities for training the young women who are in the business sectors, for them to gain. And maybe also if we can have a section with the East African communities women who are there, for us to have also experience from them. What are they doing and what are their experience? And if there's a chances where we can also exchange. For example, if I'm doing the type of business that I'm doing here, if someone is also doing there, what can we do together to have that kind of relationship and to make things easier?
Oh, that is so powerful. That is so powerful. Thank you so much for that recommendation. I believe these are the things we need, and that's why we are having such discussion, so that we can all put our heads together and spell out what are the challenges we are facing and how are we going to fix them. So thank you so much for that very powerful recommendation, Vicki. I'm so grateful and thank you. I'm happy to have you in this room today. Thank you so much, Vicki. I would also like to go back to Miss Elizabeth Dio. I want you to tell us what are the challenges you're facing in your business and what are your recommendations moving forward. Thank you. Over to you, Elizabeth Dio.
Thank you, Sarah. Like, obviously, the challenges are the same. Like what Vicki just said, we are facing the same challenges. They differ a little bit. Like, according to me, I'm facing a lot of challenges in businesses I'm doing. Transportation, general supply, and 5 ladies. We face a lot of abuses when we go to government offices, like when we are applying for contracts. And the same goes with the UN agencies in South Sudan. We face a lot of sexual harassment. Like, they don't see what you can do. They see what is in your body. They will not see the quotation you're dropping. So I know so many women are suffering outside there. Like, when I apply and I'm a woman, they will not believe that I have something in my head, or I have something that I can actually do this thing without selling myself. So they will see my body, they will see what I would give in exchange of what I would get in return. So sexual harassment, I'm facing it, and this one is really rampant in this country on both sides, government and private sectors. Number 2, we are not supported in any way. We don't get loans. Apart from the government, the bank is supposed to give people loans. Equity, KCB, and all. But we are not being given loans. For example, I think last month, I applied for a loan in Cooperative Bank. They gave me some lease, gave me some questions to fill, and they gave me some conditions of which I cannot afford. It was messy. It was like something extraordinary. And if I cannot get loan in my own country, if I cannot get any support in my own country, in my own home, where will I get that support from? I'm a business lady. At times I go down, at times I go up. So when I'm down, this is where the banks come in and other institutions to help me get up on my feet. I have a plot, I have a land, but I did not build it. So I was denied a loan by the bank because I did not build it. And I have friends, they're foreigners. They have been applying with the same bank and they've been given loans in South Sudan. But I was denied a loan because I'm a South Sudanese. That is number 2. Number 3, people don't believe in us, especially our own government and the NGOs, the UN agencies. For example, she has a cleaning company and she has a catering company, she has a restaurant, you know. I do uniform, I have trucks, I do transportation. But they rather give it to a foreigner than me because they don't believe in South Sudanese. They cannot give her cleaning service to UNIMIS here because she's a South Sudanese. They will just tell you simple, we don't believe in South Sudanese. Me, I do uniform for all these schools, even some schools outside Juba, I do make them uniform, school uniform. UNICEF here, they make uniform every year, but they will not give it to me because I'm a South Sudanese. They rather take it to Nairobi or Kampala and give it to people who don't have workshops, give it to people who don't have machines in town because they are not South Sudanese.
I just have a question. Why do you think they don't believe in South Sudanese? What do you think could be wrong that we South Sudanese are doing?
I think most of the procurement bosses, these NGOs are not South Sudanese. And they're cooperating, they're doing the same thing because bribery is a lot. It's rampant, it's really big in this munazamat. And we South Sudanese, like me, I don't have cash. If you ask me to give you $30,000 or $100,000 cash, on the spot before you give me the contract, where will I get it? And I'm not there because I cannot afford.
Exactly.
So I cannot bribe you before you give me the job. Number two, if you give me the job, I will do my job because this is what I do. And you don't need to ask for a percentage, like 50% of what I will get. Will I take that contract? I will not take it. Number three, I will report you. So they fear South Sudanese. Not because we don't have skills, not because we cannot do what they're asking us to do. Those who are cleaning uniforms are South Sudanese, for God's sake. The cleaners are South Sudanese, but the bosses are foreigners. And they're going out every year with millions of dollars out of this country, doing what I am capable of doing what she can do. Okay? She's cooking, she's a restaurant, she's cooking. She cooks better than foreigners. Okay? But they're not giving her that job. She's cleaning. She has a cleaning company. I'm doing uniform. I do even wedding gowns. But I'll not be given that job. She's selling cars. But they rather go and contract a foreigner to do what they want to be done instead of a South Sudanese. So we are facing a lot of challenges with this Munazamat. Coming to our government, it's really a mess. Like I told you, they closed my yard last week where I'm keeping my trucks in Jebel, and they were demanding 1.3 million.
Wow.
State revenue. We have state revenue, we have land rental, we have what? Like four. I've been facing four different departments within the city council. Under the same office, like this office, but different tables. In the same office, not even different offices. And the tax, the government knows very well that we have not been working last year. But you still have to renew your document. In fact, they're increasing the money, they're increasing the fee. So we are not going any further. These are the challenges we are having as women of South Sudan. About myself, who's just having a company, and also those who are selling at the roadside, those women who sell tea, those women who sell tomato, those women are surviving. They don't have companies like us, they're not benefiting. Those are not NGOs, those are not companies. From hand to mouth. But you get city council demanding them £1,000 daily. That woman is seated there at the roadside the whole day, waiting for only 1,000 to feed her children. And here the government come in and ask her to give her 1,000, to give them 1,000 daily. Are you developing that woman or are you destroying her?
Good
like
question.
She's saying, women are life, women are everything. We are raising children. Some of them, they are widows. Majority are single mothers. They're just raising children. What they're doing there is not for themselves, but for children, to raise children and help other people. But our government is dragging them down. I'm hustling, I'm struggling to do something better for myself, but instead I'm being destroyed. Like if you ask me to pay you 1.something million, you know very well that the roads are not working. So the trucks are just parked there. They're not moving because the security is not good, going to a wheel or going to Bentiu, and the roads are not good. So I've not been working. I've not been getting any contract, and you demand me to pay you 1.something million. Is that fair? So that is really a mess. Coming to the resolution or the recommendation or the solution, according to me, I wanted South Sudan women, business women. Yes, like South Sudan women, business women, to form an association. This association can handle our cases, our problems. We get a good lawyer. We have women lawyers outside here, good ones. Okay. We make a constitution, something to govern us, something that will govern our government. Because the constitution, our constitution talk about South Sudanese being first, not foreigners. Okay? So that when the government do something, so that when we are supposed to pay something, we'll pay according to the constitution, not something out of constitution like the way they're looting us in the name of us paying tax. when the foreigners or when these munazamadas, when they are giving out the contracts or bagiajat, some other things, they should consider, like, they will be governed by this constitution, South Sudan Business Women Association Constitution. Like, before they give it to a Kenyan lady, let them try Vicki if she can clean very well. Let them try Tina if she can cook very well. Let them try Elizabeth if she will supply cars and time before they give it out. So we need to form a committee, we need to form an association, and we put some rules down there to govern us and to govern our government before they come and destroy our business. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was so emotional. I really feel you. And I'm just really wondering if somebody like you with 5 sisters, with several businesses, is feeling all of these challenges. Because if you look at how our market is segmented right now, nowadays, you'll find a lot of women majority of women are in the market. Either you find them in Konyo Konyo or you find them in Gudele market or whichever market that you name, majority of them are women. So I don't know what kind of challenges they are facing if you, somebody who have maybe an executive business, is feeling all this kind of pressure. So thank you so much for sharing that insightful. It was really emotional, but the truth. Thank you for being open to us. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I want to go to Tina to share with us what are the challenges you're facing in your business and what are your recommendations moving forward?
Honestly, thank you once more, Sarah. I think I would say we are facing the same challenges of these taxes. You find yourself you have what business, there is taxes, there is certificate of, name it. It's the same pride. Like, if for someone who is registering a business, it will really weigh you down before even you start that business. And it is something that is really very discouraging. And I think due to the fact that someone has a zeal and the passion to do that business, that's the reason why some people are surviving, like what Elizabeth said, and like some of us are experiencing at the moment. Because if you were forced or you were given that vision or the dream to do it, someone to employ you, I don't think you'll do it. It's simply because that you have the dream and you have the zeal and you really want to bring services to the people. Those are this is the hardship that we go through most particularly. And also another thing is the renting. Like, if you want to own an office, you go to places like High Malakal or places like along Airport Road, places you cannot find. If you want to have a decent place to have your business, like most particularly, let me talk about today. I think I'm going to deal with food today. You want to have a restaurant, you must have a location whereby whereby people can come in. Like, not particularly if you go deep inside Tongping here, you find those local restaurants, not everybody will come in there. Like now, more particularly the people I know, I have a restaurant deep inside Tongping, they cannot come to my place. Because why? It is in a local area. And that local area, maybe that is where I can afford to rent or to start the business that I'm starting from my pocket. So at the end of the day, the rents is a problem. And the rents, it's generated or it is coming up, or maybe those people that are giving their premises in those expensive is simply because of this high taxes issue. So it's just the same price. I think if you ask even somebody outside there that is owning a shop or someone who's owning whatsoever an office, it's just the same price, the issue of the taxes. And I've tried to get the contracts is one thing that is I wouldn't talk much about it simply because that the reason that I was given, or maybe going to the government office or something, the people were all crying about the pandemic. So I wouldn't emphasize so much that I would really talk more about it. But to be honest with you, let me say that if not anything, let me just take out maybe 5%, but 95% of women of South Sudan I don't know about the rest of the world, but 95% of women in South Sudan are the ones who bring food on the table, to be honest with you. They're the ones that will bring the food on the table, because when a child cries, wants a pen or wants a pencil or wants something or wants food, or what, they all come to Mama, I want this. Mom, this mom, that they don't ask about dad. Okay, they're all looking on you. Either the dad is providing for you or not, it doesn't matter to them. And let me tell you, as she mentioned earlier, majority of women, some are widows, some are single mothers, some are even, I don't know how to even define some women suffering out there. So let me say, women are suffering in South Sudan. Leave alone, like now, me, somebody who sits on the streets, and sometimes I sit at the roadside to see, who are the people struggling? Are the women. And now to top it up, when the city council, yes, they are doing a good job, clean Juba. It's a great job, keep the city clean. But honestly, there's some places that are broken down. And just imagine, that woman sat the whole day since morning, leaving the children in the house. And now the business place where you are surviving all throughout this time, because nowadays nobody can even put his or her hand in the pocket to support the other person, because you have your own issues in your own house. Those places are broken down. Okay, what was the plan when you thought of cleaning Juba? There was no plan. So it is really frustrating. I myself, as an individual, I'm in the market. I decided to go to the market to feel the pain of the women, because now I'm facing it. Like now, for example, starting a small restaurant or starting like two, you cannot, there are days whereby you have customers, there are days whereby you even find someone just comes in and say, you know what, to be honest with you, I'm hungry, I don't have any cash. What will you do? You think the person is hungry, and you yourself, you struggle to get that little of yours to support yourself. What will you do? Now you're torn apart. You have toiled, work the whole day to whatever, to survive, to get something in that you get it, and for your survival. But there's somebody there suffering. He needs food, or she needs food. What will you do? You need to extend services. Okay. When you go to, most particularly like now, when you go to the government offices or you for contracts or whatsoever it is, you cannot find it. We'll complain, maybe it will look like it is a complaint that we're complaining. Like, to be honest with you, why don't you try those people that are already there and give them the contracts? Give them that work to do. What will they do with it? As most particularly when we get the money, like most particularly when a woman gets some money, you cater for everybody. You're not going to think of yourself. So it is really frustrating. And most particular addition to that, the reason why I actually had to come up and I was so much impressed to be part of this panel is because to voice out the voice of the voiceless. Those who are just there, they can't even speak for themselves because they don't have forums to sit down and speak for themselves. So my recommendation, as they put it earlier, is like, we should not sit down here, talk about it, and we leave it as it is. We sit down, we put our heads together, we put our thoughts together. There's so many young women out there that are capable of doing greater things in this nation.
Exactly.
So many of them doing greater things. Even there are those who are even young girls that are coming up. Now, more particularly, I met a young girl, she's the one taking care of her siblings. And she's number two in the family. She's the one taking care. I looked at her and I was like, okay, this is very serious. And who is supporting her? Kindly, if our brothers, let me call them brothers, to be honest with you, maybe, don't look at the beauty. Look at what I'm capable of doing. What I know, help me, do it. If you want to be part of my life, you do it in a right way, but not to bribe you so that you can take away the knowledge I have. No, it doesn't work. So all I have to do is like, I hope there are those people who are in charge, they will look at, they will hear this conversation. And I believe that there are so many people that keep quiet, they cannot talk, they cannot say anything. Maybe they're afraid to be seen, or they're afraid of their lives. But for me, I'm just an open book. Just say it as it is, because this is what is pressing so many people. You want to create security, you want to create peace, give people that are doing, like now, if you have food on the table, that is already, you're creating security, you're creating peace. If you give services to the people, you're already creating peace and security to the people. Nobody's going to give you a hard time. If you want to reduce some corruption, then you provide for those who are in a position to do the job. Not that somebody who's just only going to, like now, most particularly, if I get the money I have, it's not just a matter of like, oh, I'm just doing it. I might employ 2-3 people. Already I've got them out of poverty. So this is really frustrating, but all I can say is I hope this discussion is not just going to stop here, because I believe there are so many things that we discuss most of the times and there's no implementation. But South Sudan, to be a better green or better place for tomorrow, it's better to try women again, Ejama. Those women that are on the market with all the potentials, try them. There's so many smart, intelligent women out there. You try them again. So that's all I can say, because like a lot of recommendation is just the same recommendation. We are suffering because of the government institutions.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tina Ring, for that insightful discussion. Thank you for being honest and pouring your heart out. I'll also go to our next panelist, who is also here, Ms. Elizabeth Aqua Lawrence. I want her to share what are the challenges she's facing in her agricultural industry and what are her recommendations. Thank you. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for another chance. Actually, to say, being one of the person which is in the large company business, the first challenge that I do face is assumption of being making a lot of profit. So we are always exposed to high risk of taxes. Now, people don't understand that you might be having a big company with a lot of stocks on the ground, maybe a lot of employees, and maybe it look like a big setup company, but the fact that you can also be making a lot of losses, most of our government institutions don't understand that. So we are always exposed to high risk of taxes because they just conclude, Madam Elizabeth, this is a big compound, you have a lot of stocks, you're supposed to pay a business profit tax of maybe like $500,000 within this year. Not considering that within this pandemic or within the certain year, there's some time whereby you make a lot of expenses. Maybe you haven't made a sale or any of the sales, being that our machineries are seasonal basis. So there's some months whereby you sell, there's some months whereby you don't sell. So the taxation guys don't consider that. Imagine having an unqualified tax personnel coming in, not going through your filing to check your expenses and your incomes, and to be able to calculate a business profit, that just make an assumption that you're supposed to pay us this business profit tax. That's it. And then for you to negotiate your way out, they will not want to sit down with you, but they want to go through a shortcut way of trying, and I'm sure all of you understand. So it's really a big challenge that we are set up as big companies that we face. High risk exposed to taxes. You're also exposed to things like double taxing. I bring in the machines at minimally border. I pay upfront business profit tax, and at the end of the year, before the year ended, I'm asked to file another business profit tax. And when you ask for justification, whereby, why am I double taxed? This is how it is. In which, so I find that my assessment is that there is a lot need to be done in the in the Department of Taxation. The government needs to employ qualified staff that are having good background that fit in that department. That's my first thing to say. Number two is most of the common things that my sisters are also facing. That is the city council taxes. If I'm in tomorrow, you're paying this service fee, 400,000, 500,000. Just before I left Juba, last month, October, I was forced to pay 480,000 SSC for something I don't understand. And our compound was locked. Either you pay it or they block it, and then to open that padlock will be another fee. So you understand, this is the kind of game that we are in with city council. And when you ask me to justify, what are you going to do with this £450,000 that you want me to pay? Well, this is what you are supposed to pay as per, since you put under large company or something. So it's a big tackle of war that we need to sit down. I feel like on those kind of issues, that a lot of taxes that custom department of tariff side, the city councils, the stamp duty, the postal things. We need to have annual meetings with these stakeholders, whereby we bring them together, and we business people will sit together. We highlight our problems. We bring people who are concerned on the table. We ask them, and maybe we sit down and they should be able to consider our ideas. How do they come up with this kind of things, so this kind of percentage to be able to collect those kind of taxes? But since this thing is reviewed yearly, as per the consultation that I made before I left, is a yearly reviewed book. But I'm actually recommending that we should have a yearly meeting with all the stakeholders that are concerned, whereby we sit down maybe with the Minister of Finance person, the representative, person from the City Council representative, person from which investment representative, and we as business women or business group representative. And then we should also hear out the problems that we are facing. If there's a way that we can have a common ground to these taxes issues, since now it's becoming a big factor, it's affecting almost everyone. I'll find either from small business to big business people complain about the same issue. That is number 2. Number 3, facing issues to do with the transportation. Since last year and this year, we've been having a lot of riots in Nimli border. Sometimes it's closed down. Maybe there's a lot of burning. There's a lot of ambush, and it's like it's really affecting my business a lot, because sometimes you bring in the stocks, you are stuck at Nimli. They're counting for you, maybe damages and days, and it's raising the prices of your product and how you're supposed to sell it. So you see, these are some of the things that come when the peace is stabilized on the ground. So there's still a lot to be done on coming to peace side initiative, so that this kind of thing should avoid affecting the businesses. Last but not the least, I feel like there's been a lot of complaints about asset financing and the loans issues. I did a lot of findings. I went to Cooperative Bank, I went to KCB, I went to Standard Bank. But most of the biggest things that's affecting our women not to get the loans, especially because I know from the law of business people that are looking for businesses, your way of managing your finances. I want you guys to do one thing. We need to embrace this spirit of having cooperatives. We should come into cooperatives. It is easy to get a loan when you're in cooperatives than coming as an individual, as Elizabeth, my company, I want a loan. And I will also encourage everyone to say that learn to always make deposit. Bank, even though as little as it is, bank every day or bank every month, whatever that you get, try to bank it, because those are your keys get away of getting the loan from the bank. They're going to assess your financial statement of the bank. And if your financial statement of the bank is not flowing correctly, that will hinder for you to get a loan. So we need, as women who are doing business, embrace banking always. Embrace having a bank account, open whatever little you get on a daily business. If a business is making money daily, file a small profit that you get on it, or file it on a weekly basis or a monthly. And then last but not the least, I want us also as women to invest a lot on things like assets like land assets. I know we women are neglecting this issue of like having a land title deed. But when going to look for the loans, like now my sister asking why we're not getting the loan from the bank, you need to have like a collateral. And a collateral will not just be your company. A collateral will not be anybody writing you a letter. So having a land title deed is something that you also need to look at into investing in it. So let's start having those kind of thinking. I need to invest in land. So in future, your land will be a collateral to get financing support, to get support, like maybe to get a loan or whatever amount that you want. So these are things that we need to consider and look at. Otherwise, there's a lot of issues to do with the taxes. There are a lot of issues to do with insecurity within the country that's affecting, I think, almost all of us within the business sector. Coming to my side personally more is reaching out to farmers sometimes becomes so hard because of the infrastructure, because of insecurity. So Sarah and the team who are watching us, then there's a lot to be done in our country. We need peace, we need a lot of stakeholders consulting, and we need all of us to bring ourselves together as cooperatives. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that insight, Madam Aqua Lawrence. And I like the fact that you have actually advised women or those who are watching us today that it is really important for you to have a track of finances, especially in the bank. And these are the things that in future they will be able to help you to acquire things as loans. You know, for us, maybe as business women, we see like maybe I'm just earning 5,000 only, and we see this 5,000 is not bankable. I rather keep it in the house than taking it to the bank. And sometimes also it would be a fear that if I take this money to the bank, withdrawing them, and then there are these charges, like monthly charges that you may not be able to afford.
Yeah.
So this could be the things that are making these women maybe to keep their money at home. But I really agree with you that it is important to have a trail of finances that will help you in future, and even for the safety of that little money that you are building up in the bank. So thank you so much for that enlightening words that just came from you. I want to go to Ms. Achindel to tell us what are the challenges she's facing in her business and what are the recommendations that she has for us today. Ms. Achindel, over to you.
Thank you once again. I have few challenges, since many of them are mentioned before by my colleagues. The first challenge that I face, and this is the challenge that everybody is facing, is women are not fully protected. And if I look at women selling tamia on the road, tea makers, and those that carry bananas on their heads, and also those that are carrying water, I sometimes see there is a risk of their security. And more especially when someone is coming all the way from Humbo, and now that there are also women that are also selling milk, they come all the way past Humbo. So I feel when they go back maybe in the late hours, how do they reach home? What is the guarantee that these women don't get an issue on the way? Then the other one is the lack of capital. By the way, women are rich in vision and dreams, but the challenge they have is the economic hardship that all of us knows in this country, and this has affected all families. In fact, most of the families right now, they are not faithful to one another. And when you see into the problem that is caused is about money. Sometimes you'll be thrown some money that will not even cater for what you're supposed to do as a woman in the house. So the lack of capital has really made women vulnerable, and they are not able to have a financial freedom to really carry out their enterprises in the local level. Then the other challenge is that women are stigmatized, and more especially women at the local level. And I'm also very sure even here in town, a woman who has taken a decision of going to sell things is taken as a woman who is disowned by the family. And sometimes she's even taken negative. I was having a story with a woman who is said to be selling herself for her to open a shop. And in actual sense, that woman is a respectful woman. It is only the husband who has given her that opportunity to go and sell things at the roadside, to have a shop actually. But it was taken in a negative way, simply because people think, or our society thinks, that women are just women and their work is to sit at home and cater for them. So I feel that stigmatization must stop, and to give women a freedom of really working for themselves. And when they work for themselves, the nation will be fixed. Then the other challenge is the custom complications and insecurity. When I talk of this, it is the system that is actually found at the custom level, when especially exporting the things outside the country. My colleagues will agree with me that when you bring your things, they are sealed. What they're supposed to do is to only follow the custom regulations and procedures, and you have to pay for what is required of you as a business person to pay. But they will go further by opening your properties. So when you even come and claim later on, no one will actually tell you what happened to your property and your goods actually rather. You will not really know who has done that step of opening your box, and you will end up actually losing instead of actually gaining. Then the issue of insecurity has really affected the transportation or the expectation of our goods. And if you see, trucks take sometimes 2 weeks on the way or more than 2 weeks to reach this place, and then you would have actually lose your customers because they are waiting for the product and you are not able actually to deliver them on time simply because there is insecurity. So if there is possibility, at least we have to be given that protection all over, and it should be a unified protection because we depend on our other people who are East African colleagues. Then the recommendations that I will put is that at least women must be empowered equally with men, businessmen. When I talk of this, women are less empowered and there are only businessmen that are empowered. And what I know, when you empower a man, you empower them to go to the hotels, ya jama. You empower them to marry many wives. But when you empower a woman with the capital, that woman has only one husband. She has only one superior. She will not take any money anyway. She will only operate this money, and she will actually encourage other people to encourage the employment, and she will also support in kind and other things because she has that woman heart and a possibility of supporting. So women must be empowered fully, and it should be done through microfinances and cooperatives. If we look at how many cooperatives and microfinance do we have in this country, I would say, if not none, I don't know anything about this microfinance. And the other thing is that women entrepreneurs should join now the East African community. And when we join our other colleagues, we will learn from them, and we will also provide the exhibitions that will actually, manifest our products from the other side. And when I talk about this, by the way, our local products, they are not so marketable simply because they are the same our colleagues from East Africa that comes and even buy from us here, and they will go and sell them, and they will pretend that these products belong to them. When you talk of something like honey, local honey is made from us here. It is not in East Africa, in any part of East Africa. They have it, but ours is rich of, it is natural and it is very good. You talk of Lulu butter, they collect it from here. You talk of groundnut, they all take it from here. But it is just because we are not really, supported, and we are not empowered in a way that we are to work independently and know what we are doing. So in this, we will not actually prosper. Then I think to my local women who are actually outside, I would really say, especially those at the grassroots level, I wanted to encourage them to avoid the alcohol business. This arrogant business is not the only business that we can do as women. There are other business that we can do and leave arrogant. Because this arrogant, in most time, you will sell it, and then when you have a stress, you will think that you wanted to test it with the top. Just to test like this, whether it is okay. Then next tomorrow you are putting it in the car, and you find yourself you have messed up. And later on, you will lose. So let that one be discouraged. And if women are really watching and they are following us, let the business of alcohol be put aside, and let us really put our eyes and our energy on the other business that men are doing. All can make it. The other one is, to conclude, is actually very important to have women entrepreneurs platform that will help us coordinate. Even we will be able to identify women at the grassroots level, and we will also connect and do a better digital even marketing when we join East Africa and when we organize ourselves, and we will be able, because we have different women who are having different fields expertise, who will actually train us on even business management, saving, and so on. So it will be very important to echo out what other sisters have said about putting up the platform or the association to be able to help us coordinate peacefully and effectively. Thank Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Achindel, for that insightful discussion from you. I believe our viewers have benefited from all what you are saying, and what you are saying is just amazing. Thank you so much. There's a question from our viewers that I would like us to quickly look at, and maybe I'll go back to you again, Achindel. How did you get your capital? This is a question from our audience. How did you get your capital? Maybe you can let them know how you get their capital, and maybe they'll get an advice from you.
Yeah, thank you very much. My sister Arin Tina put it very clearly that women don't look at the nearest thing. So I actually got my capital based on how I plan myself. And as I go to the market, I don't admire everything. And it is something we need to avoid as women. You go to the market, you start admiring mandasi, you start admiring lipstick, you start admiring other things. Even the 1,000 that was given to you as food will go forever and you will not see. But if you just go and focus, you go and buy your kudra, you go and buy peanut, you go and buy your small thing, and then that balance, that coin, you go and keep it. Then you do it the same. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months will not finish when you have not collected your little money, and then you start off. And you know, the other secret is that when a man or a husband sees you, that you have really put something and he was not aware, and then later on you come and present to him, my dear, this is what I have, and I want you to add on top so that I start something that will support our family. Definitely, you will be seen as somebody who is organized, and you will be supported in any way. Even if that person doesn't want to remove things, you will always remove and support me. So this is how I started collecting that $1,200, and I started my small business. And for sure, this has really kept on supporting me, even by the virtual that I am a widow right now. That small business has really sustained me, and I hope it will sustain me until the rest of my life.
We can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's amazing. And we are really blessed and empowered or encouraged to listen to such wonderful women who are doing great things in this nation, supporting themselves. And I would like to also go back to Elizabeth Aqua Lawrence. Given the fact that you're dealing with John Deere machinery, these are big things. You know, you're not supposed to be even sitting with us in this room. But I'm glad you're sitting here. And our audience wants to know, how did you get the capital to even start of buying a truck? How did it happen? I mean, a truck. I thought you'll just buy Brazilian and, you know, and we are, and we are done.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And this is one of the questions that I always get in every show that I go in. How did you manage to be there? I actually jumped the question earlier on that what motivated you to have this company? Initially, when I started having the company, I didn't start it as the CEO or as the owner. I started the company as an employee of a company called Loan Agro, which was a Londro Group Africa business. Most of us know the Londro Group of Africa business that here in East Africa is actually a UK company. So they were actually the dealers of John Deere machineries in South Sudan. So what happens is that during 2016 war breakout, they decided that they're selling out the company. And been had worked with them starting from 2012 up to 2016, and I was on the management pay scale. I've managed to save a good pension as they were selling the company. So I was being insider, I was given the first priority. We are selling, your country's having a war going on. We are not seeing the future of South Sudan with John Deere, with us, John Deere being here with the machineries. What do you think? So I took a risk. I stepped up and took a risk, believing in myself, and I believe in my country that there will be peace. I believe there will be stability coming in, and I believe that within the knowledge that I had as a background, because in my high school I did agriculture, was one of my things that I did as a course. So I said I want to take over. What is the requirement? So I never had any money, but we bet on the table. In which I asked them, can I use my pension that you guys are supposed to pay me for these 6 years? Then I buy the shares. And that is how I end up being the owner of David Machinery. So I used my shares that I saved from 2012 to 2016. My shares were about $250,000 because I was being paid highly because that was an abroad company. And then the company is worth $500,000. So I made my shares as a down payment, and I took the company over with everything that was there. And I am paying, I just finished paying off the remaining 250, I think like last year or a little bit like that. So I start paying off gradually as I sell I bring in the stocks. We still maintain the same terms of John Deere, whereby I bring in the shipment from the factory. I'm given 180 days to pay off after I sell the stocks. So it's actually a good dealership whereby they believe in their customers. We make a proper legal document. So whenever I bring my shipments, the tractors, I'm given 6 months, 180 days to pay it off. So that's how I end up being the owner of the company. I use my shares to pay for the shares that were supposed to be sold. That make me the owner of David Machinery Group. Sarah, have I answered the question of the viewers? How did I get the company?
Yeah, yes. And actually, it's really inspiring because the question was, how did you get the capital to start? And in your case, you didn't have tangible money. What you had was your shares and your pension. So sometimes how you start, it doesn't have to be monetary. That was actually a smart move. That was that was wise decision to have made. Actually, God gave you wisdom in that area, and you made the right decision. Because I've been wondering, this woman, how did she start even to buy this? Now that I know the story, now I know. So, and I believe our viewers know too. But that was a good thing to do, and it's good, and that shows how this is risk actually, to be bold. It's not just about sitting back and just watch it all happen, and then you're wondering what happened. But in this case, we congratulate you. So that's for our viewers. That's how she didn't have a capital, but she just requested that her pension be used for her to buy shares in the company. Thank you so much for sharing that. I would like to go to Tina to tell us, how did she raise her capital to start her business? Over to you, Tina.
Thank you very much once more. To be honest with you, I think we still, when you wait to gather a lot of money to start the dream you have or the vision you have, it will never come unless you start slowly. But the little I earned at the end of the month, I decided to take a risk and to register the company, because definitely there are documents that you need to have as in when you have the business. And slowly by slowly, that is how it's just a matter of taking a risk. You get a little, at the end of the month, you get something out. Ross mentioned the very velvet point that instead of going and you have that little you have and you see, and as you see that and you keep on, you want to buy everything that you own, and then that one is not going to help you. So I decided to neglect the fact that I need to do things for myself, but at least to get out the vision that I have, to deliver out what I have. So at the end of the month, I began to see, I do budget myself, because I have a family to take care of, and then budget it out. This is going to go for this is going to go for that. And to be honest with you, to have responsibilities teaches you a lot of things. You learn a lot of things from it. And the most important thing is like, when you budget yourself, you'll be in a position to save something for whatever that is not done. Because I did not know, because I tried the fact that to have, like, most particularly during the times of quotas, I tried to go look for business opportunities out there. It didn't work. And then even the question is like, the whole thing came down until it is time of pandemic that I'm thinking of owning a business or thinking of doing something. It was really amazing. It was a really serious, huge risk to take. And to be honest with you, I would really learn also from the background that you come from, whereby if you live in an area or you're surrounded by people that take risks, you'll be in a position one day to take risk to do certain things. Because I'm inspired by my mother. She's one of the women that really, she takes risks in doing things, and you think she's not going to succeed, but she's going to succeed. So at the end of the day, from my pocket, that is still, I'm still supporting what I have. And hopefully, as we go on, because I quote the, I think, if I'm not wrong, the president said that COVID-19 came to stay with us. And we have to learn how to be around it. So it is not, it is really amazing. And I believe the viewers and also they like, maybe somebody would ask, how do you budget yourself with whatever little you have to have such a business, such businesses? Honestly, if you have a dream, that dream must come true if you really work hard. The start is tall, but when they do see, like now I'm talking about it, I never knew I'll reach to this extent at the moment that I'll sit down here and talk about what I started some time back. I started blindly without even listening to anybody else and just say, okay, let me focus. Yes, I can do. And I kept on, encouraging myself that I can do, and I will still go on the way I started. Buying little things, we should put it out of question and try to put it for whatever business or the dream that you have. So I started from my pocket, no support. I wouldn't say that no support at all, but at least most particularly, I was only basing on my daily, my monthly income that I get, and I have to save for what I have in my dream.
Thank you so much for that insightful of how you started your business and how did you get your capital? And it's clearly with all what we have right now in South Sudan, it has to be from your own savings, or you really believe in something and you put aside small money little by little until you make it to start something. So thank you so much for that. I want us to go to Vicki Angelo. I want you to tell us, how did you get your capital to start the cleaning company and even the cooking?
Thank you. I'll start by the restaurant. It started way back when I was young. I grew up in a bush, I can say that. But then my father, I grew up with a single parent. So my dad would bring all the food items home, and I'll take the flour and make the mandazi to make sure that I get something little to buy, to change if, for example, you want to eat fish or meat or other things, because we only have others and beans. So that is how I started it and where we are staying, there's a kind of a club, we call it Nadi. And those people will come home and ask for tea, for water. So I started putting a little kettle for making them tea, and then they start buying it from me. I started with the barracks, like those small glasses, 6 of them. And literally it goes up to today now. From, let me say, by then the barracks is at 500 and the kit is maybe 300 or 400. That is less than 1,000 business. But today I can say the restaurant business, I can talk of 4 to 5 million per month. And if not because of the pandemic. So it's a long way. And the cleaning company, which is having also general supply, I was a marketeer of another company. Way back when I was in a campus, I used to go market during the day, and then the evening I go to school. So I work there. When I go to school, I have a friend in Kasum who is selling second-hand clothes. So I could go and collect the first-class shirts. So I go and sell and give him back his money. So one of the day, during the 2016, the UNIMIS wanted like 600,000 clothes for the beneficiaries, which I don't have. I have customers there, they call me, Vicki, you're bringing nice stuff. Do you have the store? As the town is, I say, yes, I have the store. Then I went back to my customer, I told him, look, these people are asking for the stock. Do you have a stock of 600,000 clothes? And then he said, yes. I said, okay, if I bring for the business, what are you going to do for me? So he told me, Vicki, go and do, you bring the business, definitely I will do for that business. But after that, you have to make sure you register your own company. I said, okay, fine. When those people came and viewed the store, which is mine for him, and they have the agreement. We have the agreement, we signed the contract, and those clothes were supplied. So from there, this man is a foreigner, he's a Nigerian. He took his share, and then he gives me something written and say, you go and now register your own company, so that next time if you get a business, you can able to do your own things. So I went and registered, and then from there, now I started marketing for myself, since I have the experience of marketing and all this. So that's how I started it up.
Wow, that is so amazing, Vicki. You are so amazing. Thank you so much for that insight. But how did you get you didn't even have the capital, you just had network. So this is another way that you can actually start your business, knowing someone who is doing something. So this is so amazing. And sometimes it's not just about money, it's about your connections. It's about how you think well and the decisions that you are making. Thank you so much, Vicki. You are a woman who is amazing. Thank you. I would also like to go to close with Miss Elizabeth Awien Dio. I think she's the last person that we have in my list. Tell us how you raised your capital, because earlier on you mentioned that you started your business with $2,000. How did you get that $2,000? Someone out there want to know how you got the $2,000. Thank you. Take it away.
Thank you, Sarah. Mine is a long story.
We are ready to listen.
And I hope I'm going to inspire somebody who is in my shoes.
Yeah.
I started way back. I think I've been in business for more than 10 years. I started business when I was 18 years in Kenya, in the camp, Kakuma.
Wow.
My mom. I'm the second child in the family, second born, and my elder sister got married. And my mom died when I was 17, going to 18, and having other siblings behind me. I was still in the school. I didn't know what to do. I lost my father way back in the bush, in the war during struggle. And I started working with an NGO called LWF, World Wildlife Federation. I was getting $30 a month as a community social worker, child rights department. And I was just sustaining my family, my sibling. There was no any other support, it was only me. And in 2009, this when my mom died in 2011. So in 2010, this thing of referendum came up, and I applied toward the end of 2010, and they accepted me as a registrar. And this is how it all started. My first salary, I opened a small salon. So I used to go to work at 5, I come back, I go to the salon. I plait people hair. By the way, I'm a good hairdresser. I could plait people hair up to midnight, sometimes 10. At times I take people home and I plait the whole night to get something. And when the deal was done in 2011, the contract with the IOM, those who were sponsoring the repatriation, I expanded my business. I moved to Nadapal. I left the Kakuma branch, the salon was operating, and I came to Nadapal in 2011. By then, South Sudan was still virgin, and it was still, the money were really strong. So I came to Nadapal and opened a salon. And I brought in 2 Kenyan girls with me, and we started plaiting. Step by step, slowly, I brought in some wedding gowns, body lotions, all this stuff. So I could get brides from Capoeira, New Side, all these parts of Eastern Equatoria, coming to my shop and taking wedding gowns and plating them and all this stuff. And now the responsibility was growing because I had my younger sister going to high school. The other one was also joining high school, and I have other kids. So I moved to Juba. I left the 2 saloons operating, one in Kakuma, one in Adapal. Then I came here, there was no job for me, so I had to go to Bentiu. My uncle was there. I started working with my uncle, and in 2012, I came back to Juba for some training. And there was this thing of Nilped was selling trucks. So I sat down and I was like, if I get 1 truck from Nilped and sell, I will get this profit. Of course, I was not going to depend on the salary because I have so many kids behind me, siblings with so many, and only one hand. I have to feed them, educate them, get them where to stay and all this stuff. So I must look for branches. I must look for side business to bring the food on the table for them. So I was dealing with the trucks. My business were running in Narus, in Adapal, and the one of Kakuma collapsed because my sisters moved to Nairobi. So the Kakuma one was not operating. When it collapsed, I opened a boutique in Bentiu. So whenever I come here, I had to make deals to get trucks from Nilped and sell and get something little. So that money I got from Nilped when I sell trucks, I managed to meet a friend. I met him in the bank. He's a Somali. He just came in by then, and he was trying to register a company. And one of my Kenyan friends, who's now in South Africa, introduced me to him and said, this is my good friend. He wants to open a company, and he needs a South Sudanese, a transportation company. And I was like, fine, I will try my luck. I asked him, will you manage the company? He told me, yeah, I just need your signature and your name. Okay, but I don't just need to be an idol. I don't want to be in the company like the way South Sudanese are just in the company. I want to be active. I want to be getting my share. So I fine. So we registered a company. That's how my business started. It's called Kipmas. And out of Kipmas, I opened Pandik, of which our last born, she's a shareholder. She's one of the shareholder with me. Pandik, I'm the shareholder with my younger sister. So out of Pandik, because there were no tailors in Juba, and I saw like, if I open a tailoring shop, something better. And my younger sister, the one who followed me, she's doing fashion and art, and she's good at that. I said, if I open something for a family, because I am all they got, they don't have anybody. My mom left, she didn't even left me 1 pound. My father didn't even a small thing. So I didn't want the same thing to happen. What if I die today? What will be of them? So I just like, let me open 5 ladies, let me open this tailoring shop to be like a family business. So I took out of my saving 2,000. And I bought 4 machines, finishing, overlock, and 2 straight machines. And then opened a small shop, brought in 2 tailors. And
Thank you.
How I started.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just want you to know that you are inspiring. You are making me emotional, and I just love your resilience. I love your courage to make it despite not having your mom or your dad around. That is an amazing. You are really a strong woman. I don't know what to say, but hats off for you and for all the ladies who are in this room. I'm so much in love with you guys, and I am so even. I don't know what to say, but before giving our concluding remarks, because our time is quickly ending, and I can sit the whole day and listen to you over and over again, and I will not even get bored, because you are women who are really inspiring me and other women outside there here in South Sudan. So today our concluding remarks will be, before we come to the end of this discussion, it is a fruitful one. I would like to thank all the panelists that we have had here today. thank you so much for making time to come to South Sudan Women Intellectuals, to come and give out your experiences and how it has been for you, the journey of entrepreneurship. I believe it is going to be inspiring another woman outside there. So my big thanks to everyone for tuning in to this fruitful discussion. And for those who are working behind the scenes, especially Robert, Aisha, and all the technical team, thank you so much. And thank you to UN Women for giving us this space to conduct our discussion. Thank you so much. And it has been a peaceful discussion. It has been a fruitful discussion. It has been an inspiring discussion. I do not even know what to say. I am speechless. I just want to hug you all and we go home and cry outside this forum. Thank you so much.
You don't have to cry.
Thank you, thank you. So with all that, thank you so much for coming and have a wonderful day. If it is good, if it is morning from your side, good morning. If it is evening from my side, have a good evening and have a lovely night. Thank you so much. Hope to see you in future. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye now.